Hello everyone, and welcome to a quick rant by myself. So today on Instagram I shared, or it was yesterday, a small piece of writing from someone it's called Love Quotes. And basically it says, the moment you start defending yourself instead of understanding me, the conversation stops being about the problem and starts being about your ego. And then a person wrote back to me that they would love to send it to someone, but they know that person would feel being attacked, and asked me what to do. What a shame. So that's totally understandable. And what I would do in these situations, maybe two things. Sometimes with some people, probably it's just too difficult. They not there. They might have some baggage against us. They might have their own baggage. So it's really painful that we want, and I think it's something that both men and women do to each other. I know from my personal experience, sometimes when a girl tells me something, I would be like, I can help you solve this because it's my mechanical analytical mind speaking, but forgetting that she has all the capacities. She's probably way smarter and more educated than me anyways. And she probably just wants to be heard, and then she will work it out. And sometimes happened to me as well. In some relationships, I would want to share a problem I'm dealing with, and straight away the girlfriend will be, hold on, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And usually these are really good practical tips, and I do end up following on them. But at that moment, I feel if they would just let me speak fully and hear me, and let me blow some steam, by all means, their thoughts and feedback and whatever they want to talk about would be great. And you always remind me of a poem that was read to us in a charity that I was working for during the training program. And that charity was to help people that are struggling with addictions from drugs, alcohol, gaming, sex, all sorts. And one of the trainer there was a really amazing person. She was a counselor, and she had some basic training for us, for people who were working on the helpline. And she said it's so important to listen, and to listen fully. And then she read us this poem, which I'll read now, and I will put it in the description below or in the comment. And I hope you find it helpful. And I think the most important thing from all of this, before I read the poem and let you go, is to forgive ourselves, love ourselves, forgive and love the others. I think that's usually the way, and sometimes we just have to move on. And yeah, we talk about it to others with our journal. That helps us balance ourselves, because it is things that bothers us and we really want to tell someone, and we might not be able to. They might not be willing or able to listen. They may not be there anymore. So this is the kind of things I tell myself. But of course, you find out and keep researching what works for you. So it's called On Listening, and it's by Ralph Ruffton, if I'm saying it correct. English is not my first language, and also I'm a bit dyslexic, so we'll just try. When I ask you to listen to me and you started by giving advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you began to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problems, you have failed me, strange as it may seem. Listen. All I ask is that you listen, not talk or do, just hear me. When you do something for me that I can and need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. And I can do for myself. I'm not helpless. Maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. But when you accept as a simple fact that I do feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I can quit trying to convince you and get about the business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. And when that's clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Perhaps that's why pray works. Sometimes for some people, because God is mute and he or she doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out yourself. So please listen and just hear me. And if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn and I will listen to you.